And of course, back then people were very small, so they didn't have to grow the horses so big. I'm just going to make up my own history, by the way, if you haven't noticed it. And up here you do see the cannons. This is known as Lookout Tower of Špilberk, and they could fire the cannons at any of the incoming Cuban, Pacino. Viva la Revolution! Che! Good morning, channel. It's 7:30 a.m. in the morning here, and while the rest of the family is slowly getting up, I'm just making the first vlog of the morning. I think this morning we're going to take a trip to Špilberk Castle, and that was a medieval castle that was built in the 13th century that eventually was converted into the largest Austrian prison system in all of this part of Europe. So we should get some interesting history lessons and enjoy also some beautiful countryside and architecture. So we'll update you along the way. And then I think later this afternoon we're going to have a special lunch celebration with the family. We might be going to one of our favorite restaurants, one that is from one of the families who immigrated to the Czech Republic over 35-40 years ago from Cuba. They have a really amazing restaurant here in Brno that we like to go to for big family party celebrations. So we'll send you updates along the way. Dobrý ráno. Now we're going to get a little benzene for the auto. You got diesel plus, nafta, natural 95 plus. That's got more detergents. Basically, you pay a little bit more. And this is natural 95, but now all the gas has ethanol. I don't like it. That's Špatný. Ethanol, Špatný. E85. Fucker gets a little gas. He gets 300 per own gas. So you're paying 35.5 Czech crown per liter. So now I got to do some early morning mental gymnastics here. Okay, so you're basically times 4 is a gallon, right? 22 Corona to the buck, so 35, 70, 140. Divide that by 22. I'll divide it by 20. You're talking about 640 a gallon roughly for diesel. That's why we only get 8 liters. Just enough to get us around town here. So we use the gas spring. Okay, time to go. Ciao, ciao. So now we are in Staro Mesto Brno, which is just basically city center Brno. A little bit north of the city center, and now we are going to Špilberk Castle, Hrad Castle a Pevnost, Narari Kotory Pamachka. So we're gonna basically do the castle tour, and you're gonna walk up the hill here, and we're gonna see what wonderful things, historical facts we can learn about this. It's Špilberk Castle, of course. With my heavy American tongue, it sounds like Spielberg. No, if I want Spielberg, we'll go to Hollywood and watch the film movies. But this is Špilberk Castle. Now we are overlooking the city here. This is one of the highest points, and this was a castle, Špilberk Castle. As you can see, it's castle on the hilltop over the city, and we're gonna slowly make our way up to the top of the castle. We're walking up the old cobblestone steps. And of course, back then people were very small, so they didn't have to grow the horses so big. I'm just gonna make up my own history, by the way, if you haven't noticed it. So these are just mali cognac. Velký bobek mali cognac. Hey, he likes the grass. There's his brother or his sister. As we are now approaching the entry gate to Hrad Špilberk. Entry gate to the Hrad Špilberk. And you see the numbering system. We have the original postal numbering system, so this was Jedna Špilberk, and now you have the new system, so this is 10 Brno Mesto, city of Brno. Okay, so it's a castle, hrad, and a fortress. So it was the biggest castle, and they ended up turning it into a prison system. Whew. It's getting hot out here today too. I'm not used to the hot weather. It's got to be about 80, 83, 84 degrees Fahrenheit. Like everything in Europe, at one point it was definitely under Vatican control from 1822 to 1922. Da questi tenebrosi covili santificata con martirio, so that's the martyrs. Saint martyrs, the martyrs of people who were killed because they were for the religion. Usi vittoris of la Redenzione Italiana. We are getting a little hrad Špilberk. Little break here. This is Velký bezinka. That's elderberry flour. It's really good. It's tasty. It's very sweet, and it's got a little bit of a flat, sour afterbite. That's good. Good refreshment. Na zdraví. Na zdraví, tačka. Na zdraví. Na zdraví. Na zdraví. Šest studený voda? Já mám. Okay. Oh, okay. Dobre. The castle Špilberk is so big that they have their own water system. Big, giant water tanks. Vodo Jemi. Big water tanks of Špilberk, but the tour is not open for another few hours. Just to get a viewpoint of the size of this tower here. We're talking at least 50 feet up here, stonework. You can see over the years where they extended it, the original wall. And they made another wall, and now they put office buildings. And now we go up to the main entryway, which is a steep staircase that we will let all the visitors here get up here. Inside, the castle guards have not stopped us, and inside the castle, you have the chapel with the cross made out of gold. Nice golden cross up there. Earlier we saw the Voda tanks, but this is the well down here. All the way down there is the well in the water. That's the castle well. And you have the official bell system for the church. And out here, they have turned this into a amphitheater for performances now, so you can have outdoor performances. And I'm not sure what's behind these double doors here. Into the fire pit, maybe. Tour doesn't start, the museum tour doesn't start for another hour and a half. Plus the pace is a little slow, so I do like I like to do best at most things. I'll tour around all the outside things, take in a little history, get yourself a little historical overview, a little thumbnail, and that's plenty. This over here, Vstup na Západní terasu, that's West Terrace. And just a little shortcut to cut through to go on the other side of the hrad Špilberk. Well, they told me I had an 11:30 performance, but apparently I didn't sell enough tickets. Nobody wants to go to the Danny Slant educational and filmu festival. Apparently my publicist didn't promote enough. No fans. Alas, we will have another day. Since I didn't take the official tour, I'm just gonna make up my own history, which we tend to do here on the Danny Slant YouTube channel. Down there we see a bunch of art installation. It looks like large dogs, although beheaded dogs. Now that could be planters, that they might have something grow out, or it could be a expression of the terrible atrocities that used to happen here in the castle when they used to use it as a prison structure. or they just could be unique little benches when they give a tour. I am not quite sure, but yes, we have rows and rows of appears to be headless dogs here at Hrad Špilberk. And they obviously have the museum here where they do displays and photographs. Yes, I'm photograph. I am a photograph, right? Retrospectively vystavy photographs, so retrospective photos. Looks like some 1980s. So yeah, during June 15th through September 3rd this year, they do from 10 to 6. You can go see the work of Miloš Budek. Here we get the culture sale on what they've got here going on for the month of July. So and then this is the you get to see the Poklady Špilberský zbrojnice, which is the guns, the armory of Špilberk. That's basically the weapons. Zbrojovka is the gun factory here in Brno, which Brno was known as the Europeans' leading place because they had the finest metals and steels from the nearby hills and mountains, and the craftsmen understood how to make the finer points of the weapons. So that's still a very big part of history of Brno. Matter of fact, Zetor tractors, Zetor is just shorthand for saying Zbrojovka. That was the tractor factory started after World War II from the Zbrojovka, the armory. So very interesting tie-in always to Brno and Moravia, and the fact that they obviously could make the castles and the weapons to protect themselves. In the near distance you hear the church bells clanging because it is 12 noon. So we are hearing the 12 bells to let everybody know. We have the flag flying of the castle, and up here you do see the cannons. This is known as Lookout Tower of Hrad Špilberk, and they could fire the cannons at any of the incoming invaders that would try to come up the mountainside. Although you look here, as you know, you always have the military advantage when you have the high ground. So another cannon, but just so you can see. And if you hear the other clanging, that's actually the chapel that's off in the distance here, 12 noon. So all across Brno, Czech Republic here in Moravia, this is the basically the Moravian kingdom, and this is the headquarters, and this is the castle. And you have quite the vantage point. You can see for kilometers and kilometers here, all the way across the valley into the next small mountain range over there off in the distance, so you will know if anybody's trying to approach. This is a small art installation, but it doesn't have a description for what it is, and to me it looks like a small whale, but the plaque is removed. It's a small sperm whale, but to me it would remind me of the old parable of the Old Testament of the Bible, which would be give a man a fish, put it on the platter here, the bronze platter, give a man a fish, feed him for the day, teach a man to fish for sperm whale, and yeah, I guess you feed him for life, or he has enough blubber to heat his house with heating oil for life, right? Anyhow, it's an art installation by Anna Velishek, 2023. This is the bronze sperm whale. Okay, that's Polish. That's dedicating to the Polish Revolution here in 1960, and over here we have 1964, we have Hungarians, Magyars, which do not speak much Hungarian, so that one I'm not going to be able to help you with the translating with, but yeah, so dedication in 64, and then we have the last one here. Za Svobodu, Klovečka, 1939 and 45, so that's an honoring the people for the World War II.
So we are at Havana Restaurante and I get an authentic soup. This is oxtail soup. And the reason why there's a Havana restaurant in Brno, Czech Republic is because at one time there was an agreement amongst the communist bloc countries that they allowed immigration policies to move freely between countries. So you have a very, very small population of Cubans who actually moved to Brno, and you had a pretty large population of Vietnamese people who moved here as well. So just interesting to see that you have a little bit of influence of around the world cultures. So we are allowed to have a nice polivka, nice soup of oxtails. Here we have fazole, that's the bean soup, fazole, and over here we have in Espanol that'd be camarón, rice, arroz.
Tomato fish, shrimp.
And in Czech that would be rýže, rache, and I don't know how to say shrimp in Czech. Shrimps.
Kreveta.
Kreveta. Okay. Dobrou chuť. Now we have the traditional Havana platillo. Ropa Vieja, that's crava. Kuje, that's kuje Florida. That's Florida chicken. Fajole and rice. So arroz y frijoles. Spinach.
To jsou žebírka kubánský.
Spare ribs.
To je příliš.
Cubano spare ribs.
Děkujeme.
Cubano spare ribs in česky, prosím.
Kubánská žebírka.
Kubanská žebírka. We have burrito. Burrito y corn. Papas fritas. Cornolki. And another lasagna.
Was ist heiß, das Ding?
No. Cubano comida is complete without a little dessert, some authentic Cubano flan.
Ouais, encore, mais tu peux prendre encore une pièce ici. Vas-y. Allez.
Cuban, Pacino. Viva la Revolution. Che. And El Broque.
Scorpio.
Scorpio.
Ani tam nespadne ta kamera.